560 The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Perfect song, The Dream Police, because Jussie Smollett must have been dreaming to think that the police weren't going to catch onto his antics. Over the weekend, we're learning so much information, and now a grand jury is going to be convened this week to hand down an indictment against the Empire actor.
See, to me, this is a win-win-win-win-win. He wins, he gets the publicity. So the Nigerian guys win, they get the publicity. The Chicago police, which has had a bad rap for quite a while, especially since Laquan McDonald, they get plaudits. The local news media did a good job on this. The national media was horrible on this. So there's a lot of winners in this. Why don't we all enjoy this?
Jussie just wants the truth to come out.
I think that what people need to hear is just the truth.
And when he was confronted by Robin Roberts saying, are you sure people are saying that this, not as a hoax, but this isn't, what happened isn't what really happened?
Who the would make something like this up or add something to it or whatever it may be? I can't even, I'm an advocate.
Oh, I mean, cry me a river. One person who's been all over this story, former Chicago police officer, current private investigator, who lives in L.A., which, by the way, yesterday there was a rally. It was a civil rights advocate who wants Jussie Smollett to be arrested. They first supported him.
We have many members of the black community and the LGBT community who have been the victims of racism and hate crimes. So for Smollett to say that he was a victim of racism and hate crime, and we believe that is a lie, certainly is an injustice to those true victims of racism and hate crimes.
This guy is no descendant of Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton would stick with the hoaxer like Tawana Bradley. That's Brawley.
Tawana Bradley. Yeah. Let's bring Paul Huebel into the conversation. Good morning, Paul, and thanks for joining us again.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning.
And we're here with Bruce. Bruce is filling in for Dan today. What do you think is going to happen in the coming hours, in the coming weeks on this case?
Well, I hope that Smollett does not believe that people are going to continue to drink his Kool-Aid over this because he's going to be falling apart. He's facing numerous charges, conspiracy for number one, the false police report for number two. There's even the issue of, did he have insurance pay for the examination at the hospital? That could be insurance fraud. There's so many things that are going to bite him. He really does need to come clean.
Well, what about possibly lying to the FBI? Because Martha Stewart lied to the FBI and she got thrown in jail, and others have lied to the FBI. That could be a big issue.
Well, not only lying to the FBI in this case, but if they can prove that Smollett was up to sending the letters with the Tylenol in it and the looks like it was pictures drawn by a 5-year-old. If they can prove that, that's even a much more serious crime. Smollett is looking at really serious time, maybe even a decade behind bars.
All right. Paul, let me ask you this. Can I ask you a question? I mean, because you got a lot of experience in this. And, at first, some of us were bamboozled. We wanted to believe his story.
I never
Now,
wanted
of
to.
course, well, I didn't, but, I'm biased. I'm a MAGA guy. I don't wear a MAGA hat, but I voted for Trump. So I'm biased. I could never get on the jury. But we didn't want to believe the story. Now, it looks like it's a hoax. I mean, it acts like a hoax. It walks like a hoax. But so it's a duck. But should we withhold judgment now because we haven't heard the whole thing? Is there any possible way, any scenario you could see, given the evidence that we have, that somehow he's innocent?
This is an investigation with the use of technology, credit cards, the Lyft application, surveillance video or lack of it. There are so many things that data of the cell phone tower dump, the cell phone records, even though he did not want to turn over his cell phone, certainly a grand jury subpoena dumped on the phone companies would get everybody's records. And then also they recovered a cell phone from the Nigerian brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, all this data is really, excuse the expression, a noose around Smollett's neck. He's got nowhere to go.
Well, we're told when police raided the home of those two brothers, they did find magazines with pages torn out. So they're trying to determine if the missing pages are connected to that threatening letter that was sent 8 days before the alleged attack. But we're also learning, too, that they rehearsed this. I mean, he was so methodical and just sinister that they had a rehearsal where one of the brothers put the noose around his neck, poured bleach on him, the other brother had a red hat, maybe because he couldn't get a MAGA hat, and screamed out, those homophobic slurs.
That it goes more to the conspiracy, which really carries the heavy prison time over just doing the act itself.
Well, is it possible?
I mean, this guy is in serious trouble.
Is it possible? Because, based on your experience, that these guys actually did the attack, but Smollett did not arrange it. Is it possible? Will they be pointing fingers at each other now?
Well, in a normal state of affairs, in the old days before the technology, that would be true. But I think we're going to find text messages. We're going to find certainly those phone calls. And also, data is going to show that these guys were together at certain times because of cell phone locations. So, I mean, realistically, Smollett's goose is cooked. The question is what kind of a plea agreement his lawyers can arrange for him. He destroyed a really wonderful career for any young man. I mean, I can't imagine the damage he's done to himself, along with the betrayal of every African American in America, every gay person in America, every one of his fans, every one of his friends, all these politicians.
I don't know.
Well,
he's notorious. Mike Tyson
Hey.
wound up being in The Hangover after he was convicted of rape. We have second acts in America.
No, I don't think he's going to have a second act. And all these politicians and all these Hollywood elites were falling all over themselves to get, a statement out there first saying that we love you, Jussie, and it's going to be okay.
How embarrassing.
Yes. Also, too, there's more information about the Uber or cab ride they took home. They stopped halfway, got out of that car, and got into another car. So it was like a bad spy movie where they thought that their movements weren't going to be tracked. How important is it that Uber was picked up?
Well, that's important. And again, we're going to go back to cell phone location positioning, and everything is going to match. And the brothers are going to have some explanation for that probably will fit like pieces in a puzzle very exactly. And again, that's stronger evidence of a conspiracy, of the fact that they were all in this together. And the other thing is that there may be financial records of the payment. For example, maybe these brothers made deposits. Let's assume they got paid in cash. Maybe they made deposits to their bank accounts.
But Jussie will say that the money was for, the physical fitness regimen that they were putting him through.
Trainer.
I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I don't have all those
I
facts.
mean, the more lies that Jussie says, the more problems he's going to have. I mean, the evidence is damning. It's overwhelming. Frankly, I've not seen a case that had stronger evidence. With data. I mean, this is again a data investigation.
And it brings back memory of Twanda. What was her name? Tawana
Brawley.
Yeah. Yeah, and
what happened?
Tell us about that.
Yeah, she came home. Well, she didn't come home. That was a problem. She was supposed to come home, didn't come home, and to cover herself, she used the ink marker and wrote all kinds of racial slurs on her body, puts herself in a dumpster, has herself found, and New York went into a major spasm that some racist rapist, white rapist, got a hold of this girl. And this went on for months. And Al Sharpton was leading demonstrations in New York. And finally, police were able to cut through the baloney. And she confessed, and the rest is history.
Except I don't think Sharpton has ever really apologized for that, or for Crown Heights, or for Freddie's Fashion Mart. No, he's immune. It's reparations to Al Sharpton. He gets to do that. I understand that.
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday you were at this at the rally. Well, I don't know if it was a rally, but civil rights activist Najee Ali called for the arrest. Yeah, the press conference. And what was it like there? Were they legitimately angry at Smollett and his actions?
They were angry. I mean, I covered it. I put the video on my YouTube site, Crime File News.
Okay.
I mean, you can see it, and not all of it because it went on for about 10 minutes, but I put up about 5 minutes of it, and they really, they just want them to stop lying and to come forward, and they said that he endangered so many people because of creating the animosity back and forth, increasing the serious racial divide we have in this country, and also that there would be retaliation back and forth. And they said it's got to end, and who could not agree with that?
Wow. All right. Paul Huebel, again, Crime File News, that's on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, and I also have a blog, crimefilenews.com, and I haven't put it on my blog yet. I should have, but I will this morning.
You got to get on that. It's on,
people are off on President's Day. They got time to read blogs.
Yes, you're right, and it's only 7 o'clock there in L.A.
Yeah.
Paul, as always,
Should
pleasure
we ask
to have
Paul
you on the
President's name? Should we do
All
that?
right, you know what?
All right, Paul, I hate
Okay.
to sandbag you right here, but it is President's Day, and we're testing all our guests today. Can you name
Here we
the
go.
35th President of the United States?
Oh, God.
I know.
Truman? I don't know.
He was the good old number 33 President of the United States. That would be John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right, thanks. That's all right,
Hey,
Paul. He's
Bruce,
annoying everyone.
Amy, thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. And again, Crime File News, and then crimefilenews.com is his
.com.
blog. Thanks, Paul. And he joined us
Yeah.
on our turnkey